Wendell Barnhouse, Big12Sports.com, and I had a chance to sit down with Big 12 Conference Interim Commissioner Chuck Neinas, and here's what he had to say during our interview. What are your main objectives as Interim Commissioner?
My main objective is to make sure that the conference can progress together. I plan on visiting each campus, finding out what their concerns are, finding out what their objectives are, and hopefully develop a plan and a timetable so we can move forward in a progressive manner and meet those objectives.
So what does your schedule look like for the first month or so that you're on the job?
Well, we have an expansion committee that's been formed and activated, and of course we have a board of directors meeting coming up, and there are just a lot of things to become acquainted with. I've got to do a fast study on a number of issues.
You mentioned the Big 12 has a committee that is dealing with expansion. What kind of input do you expect to have with that group as it goes forward?
Well, we're going to have, I'm gathering a lot of information as much as I can from television analysts who can talk about a number and potential candidates. We're looking at a number of factors to determine how many would the how many institutions like the conference like to have. Right now, there's no consensus as to the number.
What do you see as the strengths and the selling points of the Big 12?
Big 12 is a tremendous conference. I mean, it is. It's got a lot of quality. The institutions are very well known academically. The athletic programs are broad. It's not just football. There's been success across the board in a number of sports. And certainly Big 12 football ranks right up there at the top.
Well, you were involved with basically the formation of the Big 12. Why do you think the Big 12 has had the recent issues that it's encountered?
Well, I think that what's happened is that, number one, Big 12 members are attractive to others. Number two, there's been an eagerness to develop a system so that they can drive more revenue. And what concerns me is that we don't want to lose the idea of a conference. We don't want to simply be a scheduling matrix. We want to be a conference in its truest form. And we should be, and we will be.
So what do you think it will take to kind of get the Big 12 to stabilize going forward?
Well, I think there's an understanding that's come about as a result of the recent activities. I mean, there may be bumps in the road, but now we're going to find a smooth pavement.
Well, Chuck, you've got an extensive background in TV rights and negotiations, really that goes all the way back to the College Football Association. How does the ability for the member institutions in the Big 12, they retain their third-tier television rights, how does that position the conference?
Well, basically, you got to remember the reason we went all the way to the Supreme Court was to make sure that the institutions own the rights to the football team's games, not the NCAA, which was the case before 1984. And it's always been in the conference that Tier 1 and Tier 2 rights, the conference negotiates on the institution's behalf. And Tier 3 has always rested with the institution. There's no change in that.
For Big12Sports.com, I'm Wendell Barnhouse.